Hello, welcome to the Drowsy Inquirer. This video presents quiet facts about regeneration and healing. The information is continuous and uninterrupted. Regeneration is a constant biological process. It does not begin only after injury. It operates continuously at varying levels. During waking hours, regeneration competes with external demands. Energy is directed toward movement, perception, and cognition. When sleep begins, this allocation changes. Metabolic demand decreases. Muscle activity is reduced. Sensory processing slows. These changes free internal resources. Cells redirect energy toward maintenance. Repair pathways increase activity. Protein turnover accelerates during sleep. Damaged proteins are identified and broken down. Amino acids are recycled and reused. This process reduces cellular stress. DNA experiences structural strain during normal activity. Heat, oxidation, and replication introduce small errors. During sleep, DNA repair enzymes increase activity. They scan genetic material for mismatches and breaks. Single-strand breaks are corrected first. More complex damage is addressed afterward. Repair efficiency improves under stable conditions. Sleep provides these conditions. Cell cycle progression slows during early sleep stages. This allows verification of genetic integrity. Cells that cannot be repaired are removed through controlled mechanisms. This prevents accumulation of malfunctioning cells. This process does not produce inflammation. Regeneration requires coordination across tissues. Circadian timing signals synchronize repair activity. These signals originate from central neural structures. Peripheral organs receive timing cues. Repair processes follow these cues. Disruption of circadian alignment reduces repair efficiency. Hormonal signaling changes after sleep onset. Growth hormone release increases significantly. This hormone supports tissue repair rather than growth alone. It stimulates protein synthesis. It supports muscle fiber regeneration. Growth hormone release peaks during slow-wave sleep. Fragmented sleep reduces this peak. Melatonin levels rise after darkness exposure. Melatonin supports antioxidant activity. It reduces oxidative stress within cells. Melatonin receptors are present throughout the body. This allows widespread coordination. Inflammatory signaling decreases during sleep. Pro-inflammatory molecules are down-regulated. Anti-inflammatory pathways increase activity. This shift protects tissues during repair. The immune system adapts its behavior overnight. Immune cells redistribute across tissues. Some reduce circulation. Others migrate into repair zones. Macrophages remove cellular debris. They release signals that support regeneration. These signals follow circadian timing. Sleep deprivation alters immune coordination. Healing responses become slower. The nervous system enters a reduced activity state. Neuronal firing patterns synchronize. Large groups of neurons operate in slow oscillations. This reduces metabolic demand on individual cells. Neural repair processes increase activity. Axonal structures undergo maintenance. Myelin sheaths are stabilized. Synaptic connections are evaluated. Some connections are strengthened. Others are weakened or removed. This process reduces unnecessary signaling. Efficiency improves. The brain clears metabolic waste more effectively during sleep. Spaces between neural cells increase slightly. This allows fluid movement. Cerebrospinal fluid circulates more freely. Waste products are carried away. This process supports long-term neural health. The cardiovascular system also shifts function. Heart rate decreases. Blood pressure lowers. Blood vessels relax. Circulation is redistributed. Blood flow to muscles decreases. Blood flow to internal organs increases. This supports repair activity. Endothelial cells lining blood vessels undergo maintenance. Microdamage accumulated during the day is corrected. Sleep loss reduces vascular repair efficiency. The liver increases detoxification activity overnight. Enzymatic breakdown of metabolic byproducts accelerates. Processed compounds are prepared for elimination. This reduces systemic stress. Kidney function adjusts subtly. Filtration patterns change. Waste concentration increases. Water balance remains regulated. Bone tissue undergoes continuous remodeling. Old bone is broken down. New bone is formed. This balance depends on hormonal signaling. Sleep supports bone formation processes. Reduced sleep duration lowers formation markers. Muscle regeneration follows similar principles. Muscle fibers accumulate microdamage during use. Repair requires protein synthesis. Satellite cells are activated during sleep. These cells integrate with existing fibers. This restores structure. Insufficient sleep delays recovery. Connective tissues regenerate more slowly. Tendons and ligaments have limited blood supply. Sleep supports collagen synthesis. Fibers align during periods of reduced mechanical load. Repeated sleep disruption delays connective tissue repair. The digestive system participates in regeneration. Intestinal lining cells regenerate rapidly. Turnover rates are high. Sleep supports barrier integrity. Leakage decreases. This reduces immune activation. Microbial populations in the gut follow circadian patterns. These shifts influence inflammation and metabolism. Skin regeneration increases during sleep. Cell division rates rise. DNA repair activity peaks. Blood flow to skin tissue increases. Environmental damage is corrected. Sleep deprivation reduces skin recovery. Energy production systems undergo maintenance. Mitochondria repair internal components. Damaged structures are recycled. Efficiency improves. Oxidative stress decreases. Antioxidant systems operate more effectively. Cumulative damage is limited. Regeneration does not occur in isolation. It depends on coordination. Timing is critical. Consistency matters. Fragmented sleep reduces efficiency. Uninterrupted cycles support repair. Regeneration does not produce sensation. It does not signal completion. Its effects accumulate gradually. Function improves quietly. The absence of discomfort indicates regulation. Repair proceeds without awareness. Regeneration depends on timing. Most repair processes follow circadian rhythms. The circadian system coordinates cellular activity across tissues. Signals originate in the brain and synchronize peripheral organs. These signals regulate when cells divide. They also regulate when cells pause division. Cell repair is more efficient when division slows. This reduces the risk of copying damaged genetic material. During sleep, cell cycle checkpoints become more active. Cells verify structural integrity before progressing. Errors detected at this stage are corrected or removed. Cells that cannot be repaired are directed toward controlled shutdown. This prevents damaged cells from persisting. Apoptosis is a regulated process. It removes cells without triggering inflammation. Sleep supports this regulation. Inflammatory signaling remains low during early sleep stages. Low inflammation allows repair to proceed without interference. Tissue regeneration requires blood supply. During sleep, circulation patterns change. Blood flow to muscles decreases. Blood flow to internal organs increases. This redistribution supports repair functions. The liver increases detoxification activity at night. Enzymes involved in chemical breakdown operate more efficiently. Toxins processed during sleep are prepared for elimination. This reduces metabolic stress. The kidneys also adjust function. Filtration rates change slightly overnight. Water balance is maintained while waste concentration increases. This improves clearance efficiency. Bone tissue undergoes continuous remodeling. Old bone is broken down while new bone is formed. This process is regulated by mechanical load and hormones. During sleep, mechanical load is minimal. This allows formation processes to proceed without disruption. Osteoblast activity increases during rest. Calcium deposition becomes more efficient. Sleep deprivation reduces bone formation markers. Long-term sleep loss is associated with reduced bone density. Muscle regeneration follows a similar pattern. Muscle fibers experience microscopic damage during daily activity. Repair requires protein synthesis and satellite cell activation. Satellite cells remain dormant until activated. Sleep-associated hormones trigger this activation. Once activated, satellite cells fuse with existing fibers. This restores structural integrity. Without sufficient sleep, this process is incomplete. Recovery time increases. Connective tissues regenerate more slowly than muscle. Tendons and ligaments have limited blood supply. Sleep supports collagen synthesis. Collagen fibers align during periods of reduced strain. Repeated sleep disruption delays connective tissue repair. The nervous system coordinates these processes centrally. Autonomic balance shifts toward parasympathetic dominance. This state reduces metabolic demand. Reduced demand allows resource allocation to repair. Neurotransmitter release patterns change during sleep. Excitatory signaling decreases. Inhibitory signaling increases. This protects neurons from overstimulation. Neurons also undergo structural maintenance. Axons repair microdamage accumulated during signaling. Myelin sheaths are maintained and adjusted. Myelin integrity supports signal speed and efficiency. Sleep loss is associated with reduced myelin repair. This affects cognitive performance. The immune system integrates closely with regeneration. Immune cells do not only defend. They also coordinate healing. Macrophages remove cellular debris. They release signals that promote tissue repair. These signals are time-dependent. Sleep supports their regulated release. During sleep, immune cells migrate into tissues. This allows localized repair coordination. Chronic sleep loss disrupts this migration. Wound healing slows when sleep duration is reduced. This has been observed in controlled studies. Regeneration also depends on energy availability. ATP production continues during sleep. Mitochondria repair internal components simultaneously. Damaged mitochondrial DNA is replaced. Faulty proteins are recycled. This improves energy efficiency after waking. Oxidative stress is reduced during sleep. Antioxidant systems operate more effectively. Reactive oxygen species are neutralized. This limits cumulative cellular damage. Hormonal coordination remains central. Melatonin release increases after darkness onset. Melatonin has antioxidant properties. It also influences immune signaling. Melatonin receptors are present in many tissues. This allows widespread coordination. Growth hormone interacts with insulin-like growth factors. Together, they regulate tissue regeneration. Insulin sensitivity improves overnight. This supports controlled nutrient delivery. Excess glucose is stored rather than circulating. This reduces inflammatory signaling. The gastrointestinal system participates in regeneration. Intestinal lining cells regenerate rapidly. Turnover rates are among the highest in the body. Sleep supports tight junction repair. Barrier function improves. This limits immune activation caused by leakage. The gut-brain axis also recalibrates overnight. Neural signals to digestive organs decrease. This allows maintenance rather than digestion. Microbial populations adjust with circadian timing. These changes influence immune balance. Skin regeneration accelerates during sleep. Cell division in the epidermis increases. DNA repair activity peaks. Blood flow to skin tissue rises. Nutrient delivery improves. Damage caused by environmental exposure is corrected. Sleep loss reduces skin barrier recovery. This increases sensitivity. Regeneration is cumulative. Each sleep cycle contributes incrementally. No single night completes repair. Consistency matters more than duration alone. Short sleep disrupts coordination. Fragmented sleep reduces efficiency. The body requires uninterrupted cycles. Healing is not directed consciously. It follows internal timing systems. These systems evolved for low stimulation environments. Sleep provides such conditions. Regeneration proceeds silently. No signal announces completion. Repair remains invisible until function is tested. The absence of discomfort does not indicate inactivity. It indicates successful regulation. Regeneration at the cellular level depends on signaling accuracy. Cells communicate through chemical and electrical signals. These signals regulate timing. They also regulate intensity. During waking hours, signaling activity is dense. Multiple pathways operate simultaneously. This density increases error probability. During sleep, signaling traffic decreases. Pathways operate with fewer interruptions. Signal-to-noise ratio improves. Cells rely on messenger molecules to transmit instructions. These molecules bind to receptors on target cells. Binding triggers internal cascades. Each cascade follows a defined sequence. Accuracy is critical. Incorrect signaling leads to inefficient repair. Sleep improves signaling precision. Intracellular calcium levels stabilize during sleep. Calcium acts as a universal signaling ion. Fluctuations in calcium concentration regulate enzyme activity. Stable levels reduce accidental activation. Protein kinases modify target proteins. They add or remove phosphate groups. This modification changes protein behavior. Kinase activity follows circadian patterns. Peak repair-related kinase activity occurs during sleep. Phosphatases reverse these modifications. Balance between kinases and phosphatases maintains control. Sleep supports this balance. Protein folding is another critical process. Proteins are synthesized as linear chains. They must fold into specific three-dimensional structures. Incorrect folding reduces function. Severely misfolded proteins are harmful. Molecular chaperones assist folding. They prevent aggregation. Chaperone activity increases during sleep. This supports correction of folding errors. Misfolded proteins are tagged for degradation. The proteasome breaks them down. Recycled components are reused. This reduces cellular clutter. Energy availability governs repair capacity. Cells use adenosine triphosphate as an energy carrier. ATP production continues during sleep. Mitochondria generate ATP through oxidative phosphorylation. This process depends on intact internal membranes. Mitochondrial membranes experience damage over time. Reactive molecules contribute to this damage. Sleep supports mitochondrial maintenance. Damaged mitochondrial components are removed selectively. This process is known as mitophagy. Mitophagy improves overall energy efficiency. Mitochondrial DNA repair increases during sleep. This protects energy production capacity. Energy demand decreases at night. This allows allocation toward maintenance. Oxidative stress decreases during sleep. Reactive oxygen species production slows. Antioxidant systems become more effective. Enzymes such as superoxide dismutase operate efficiently. They neutralize reactive molecules. Reduced oxidative load protects cellular structures. Cell membranes also undergo repair. Lipid bilayers are subject to mechanical and chemical stress. Sleep supports lipid turnover. Damaged lipids are replaced. Membrane fluidity is restored. Proper membrane function supports signaling accuracy. Ion gradients across membranes are stabilized. This reduces spontaneous activation. The endoplasmic reticulum participates in repair. It regulates protein synthesis and folding. Stress within this organelle triggers corrective responses. Sleep reduces endoplasmic reticulum stress. Folding capacity improves. Calcium storage within this system stabilizes. The Golgi apparatus also adjusts activity. Protein sorting becomes more precise. Correctly folded proteins are delivered to target locations. Incorrect proteins are retained or degraded. Cellular waste management improves. Autophagy increases during sleep. Autophagy recycles damaged organelles and proteins. This process prevents accumulation. Autophagic activity follows circadian timing. Sleep disruption reduces autophagic efficiency. Accumulated waste interferes with signaling. Restored autophagy supports regeneration. Energy sensors within cells monitor availability. AMP-activated protein kinase responds to low energy states. During sleep, energy balance stabilizes. This allows controlled activation. Excessive energy stress signals decrease. Repair processes proceed without interruption. Cells maintain redox balance. Redox reactions regulate enzyme function. Balanced redox state supports precision. Sleep stabilizes redox conditions. Transcription factors respond to intracellular conditions. They regulate gene expression. Repair-related genes are activated during sleep. Stress-related genes are downregulated. This shift supports regeneration. Epigenetic markers adjust overnight. Chemical modifications on DNA influence expression. These modifications are reversible. Sleep supports removal of stress-associated markers. This resets cellular responsiveness. Cellular communication also involves vesicles. Small membrane-bound vesicles transport signals. They carry proteins and RNA molecules. Vesicle release patterns change during sleep. Repair-related signals increase. Noise-related signaling decreases. This improves coordination. Temperature stability supports enzyme kinetics. Sleep environments reduce fluctuations. Stable temperature supports reaction efficiency. Cellular pH stabilizes overnight. pH-sensitive enzymes operate within optimal ranges. This supports repair accuracy. Energy metabolism shifts toward conservation. Glycolytic activity decreases. Oxidative pathways dominate. This produces fewer byproducts. Lower byproduct accumulation reduces cleanup demand. Calcium pumps restore baseline concentrations. Ion homeostasis improves. Membrane potential stabilizes. Neurons benefit from this stabilization. Synaptic repair proceeds without interference. Glial cells support neuronal maintenance. They regulate nutrient supply. They clear extracellular waste. Glial activity increases during sleep. This supports neural regeneration. Repair is cumulative. Each sleep cycle contributes incrementally. Short interruptions reduce effectiveness. Complete cycles support full coordination. Cellular regeneration depends on order. Order depends on timing. Timing depends on sleep. Repair processes remain silent. They do not signal awareness. Function improves gradually. Efficiency increases without sensation. Cells restore capacity without instruction. Regeneration proceeds as long as conditions persist. Sleep provides these conditions. Structural regeneration differs from cellular maintenance. It operates on slower timelines. Muscle, bone, and connective tissue experience mechanical stress during waking hours. This stress produces microdamage. Repair requires periods of reduced load. Sleep provides this condition. Muscle fibers accumulate microscopic tears during activity. These tears are not injuries. They are signals. Repair begins when activity stops. During sleep, muscle fibers reduce contractile activity. Energy demand decreases. This allows protein synthesis to proceed efficiently. Structural proteins are rebuilt. Actin and myosin integrity is restored. Satellite cells contribute to muscle repair. These cells remain inactive during most of the day. Sleep-associated hormonal signals activate them. Once activated, satellite cells proliferate. They fuse with existing fibers. This increases structural stability. Growth hormone supports this process. Its release peaks during slow-wave sleep. Reduced sleep shortens this peak. Repair capacity declines. Muscle regeneration also depends on blood supply. During sleep, circulation shifts. Blood flow to skeletal muscle decreases slightly. However, nutrient delivery remains sufficient. Reduced movement lowers oxygen demand. This supports efficient repair. Inflammatory signaling within muscle tissue decreases overnight. This prevents excessive tissue breakdown. Repair signals dominate. Repeated sleep disruption alters muscle recovery. Fatigue accumulates. Structural repair remains incomplete. Connective tissue responds differently. Tendons and ligaments contain fewer blood vessels. Repair occurs slowly. Collagen is the primary structural protein. Collagen fibers experience mechanical deformation during use. Repair involves synthesis and alignment. During sleep, collagen synthesis increases. Fibers realign along existing stress lines. Reduced mechanical load allows this alignment. Sleep fragmentation disrupts this process. Incomplete alignment weakens tissue integrity. Ligament and tendon repair requires consistent sleep cycles. Short sleep reduces collagen deposition. Bone regeneration follows a continuous remodeling cycle. Old bone tissue is broken down. New bone tissue is formed. This balance maintains strength. Bone cells respond to mechanical signals. Osteoclasts remove damaged bone. Osteoblasts build new matrix. Sleep supports osteoblast activity. Hormonal signals regulate this balance. Growth hormone and insulin-like growth factors promote bone formation. Sleep loss shifts balance toward breakdown. Calcium metabolism follows circadian patterns. During sleep, calcium utilization becomes more efficient. Bone mineralization improves. Long-term sleep deprivation reduces bone density. Structural tissues also include cartilage. Cartilage lacks direct blood supply. Nutrient delivery occurs through diffusion. During sleep, joint compression decreases. Fluid exchange improves. This supports cartilage maintenance. Reduced sleep impairs this exchange. Joint stiffness increases. Structural regeneration depends on extracellular matrix maintenance. The matrix provides support for cells. Components include collagen, elastin, and proteoglycans. Sleep supports matrix turnover. Damaged components are removed. New components are synthesized. Matrix stiffness is regulated. Excess stiffness reduces flexibility. Insufficient stiffness reduces strength. Sleep supports balance. Mechanical stress signals are temporarily reduced during rest. This allows repair signals to dominate. Cells sense mechanical load through surface receptors. During sleep, reduced load alters receptor activation. This shifts gene expression toward repair. Structural cells adjust behavior accordingly. Fibroblasts increase activity. They synthesize collagen and other matrix proteins. Sleep supports fibroblast function. Chronic sleep loss reduces fibroblast efficiency. Scar formation increases. Structural regeneration also involves vascular support. Small blood vessels repair internal lining. Endothelial cells regenerate. Sleep supports endothelial maintenance. This improves tissue perfusion long-term. Reduced vascular repair increases injury risk. Structural integrity also depends on nervous system coordination. Motor neuron activity decreases during sleep. Reduced signaling limits involuntary contractions. This protects healing tissues. Proprioceptive feedback decreases. This prevents excessive movement. Structural tissues benefit from stillness. Inflammatory balance remains critical. Inflammation initiates repair. Excess inflammation delays completion. Sleep reduces prolonged inflammatory signaling. Cytokine profiles shift. Repair-promoting signals increase. Pain signaling decreases. This reduces unnecessary movement. Structural repair proceeds without interference. Mechanical loading resumes during waking hours. This tests repaired tissue. Successful repair improves resilience. Incomplete repair increases vulnerability. Consistency across nights matters. Single nights contribute partially. Repeated adequate sleep supports cumulative repair. Structural regeneration is not rapid. It proceeds gradually. Its success depends on timing. Sleep provides the correct timing. Age influences structural repair. Repair rates decline with age. Sleep supports preservation rather than rapid rebuilding. Quality of sleep becomes more important than duration. Fragmentation reduces benefit. Uninterrupted cycles support coordination. Structural tissues rely on predictability. Irregular sleep disrupts signaling. Repair slows. Maintenance dominates. Structural integrity depends on balance. Balance depends on rest. Rest depends on sleep. Repair does not require awareness. It operates automatically. Structural tissues regenerate quietly. Function improves incrementally. Stability increases without sensation. Repair continues as long as conditions remain favorable. Sleep sustains those conditions. Regeneration continues across the lifespan. Its rate and priority change with time. In early life, regeneration emphasizes growth. In adulthood, regeneration emphasizes maintenance. With aging, regeneration emphasizes preservation. This shift reflects energy availability. Total cellular energy production declines gradually with age. Mitochondrial efficiency decreases. Cells adapt by reallocating resources. Rapid rebuilding becomes less frequent. Structural stability becomes the priority. Repair mechanisms remain active. Their output changes. Cell division slows with age. This reduces replication errors. Slower division protects genomic integrity. DNA repair systems remain functional. However, repair speed decreases. Sleep supports preservation of repair accuracy. Circadian signaling weakens with age. Timing cues become less distinct. Coordination across tissues declines. Consistent sleep strengthens circadian signals. Regular sleep timing improves repair synchronization. Hormonal patterns change over time. Growth hormone release declines with age. This reduces anabolic repair. Sleep preserves remaining hormone pulses. Fragmented sleep further reduces hormonal effectiveness. Melatonin production also declines. Melatonin supports antioxidant defense. Sleep duration and darkness exposure influence melatonin levels. Preserved melatonin signaling supports long-term cellular protection. Inflammation increases with age. This condition is often low-grade and chronic. Chronic inflammation interferes with regeneration. Sleep reduces inflammatory signaling. Adequate sleep limits inflammatory accumulation. Immune cell behavior changes with age. Repair-related immune responses become slower. Sleep supports immune coordination. Reduced sleep accelerates immune aging. Cellular senescence increases over time. Senescent cells stop dividing. They remain metabolically active. These cells release signaling molecules. Excessive accumulation disrupts tissue environment. Sleep supports clearance mechanisms indirectly. Autophagy removes damaged components. Autophagic efficiency declines with age. Sleep preserves remaining autophagic capacity. Reduced sleep accelerates decline. Protein homeostasis becomes less stable. Misfolded proteins accumulate more easily. Sleep supports protein quality control. Chaperone activity remains responsive. Sleep loss increases protein aggregation risk. Mitochondrial turnover slows with age. Mitophagy removes dysfunctional mitochondria. Sleep supports selective removal. Energy efficiency depends on this process. Reduced sleep increases energy imbalance. Structural tissues adapt to aging. Bone remodeling balance shifts. Breakdown may exceed formation. Sleep supports osteoblast activity. Consistent sleep reduces bone loss rate. Muscle mass declines gradually. Repair shifts from growth to preservation. Sleep supports maintenance of remaining fibers. Insufficient sleep accelerates loss. Connective tissue becomes stiffer. Collagen cross-linking increases. Sleep supports collagen turnover. Poor sleep increases rigidity. Cartilage repair becomes limited. Joint recovery slows. Sleep supports fluid exchange. Fragmented sleep increases stiffness. Skin regeneration slows. Cell turnover decreases. Sleep supports DNA repair in skin cells. Reduced sleep increases damage accumulation. Vascular aging affects regeneration. Endothelial repair capacity declines. Sleep supports vascular maintenance. Consistent sleep preserves vessel flexibility. Neural regeneration remains limited throughout life. However, neural maintenance persists. Synaptic remodeling continues. Sleep supports synaptic preservation. Sleep loss accelerates cognitive decline. Glial support remains essential. Sleep supports glial function. Waste clearance becomes less efficient with age. Sleep partially compensates. Brain health depends on consistency. Energy metabolism changes. Insulin sensitivity decreases with age. Sleep supports metabolic regulation. Poor sleep worsens metabolic imbalance. Liver regeneration capacity declines. Sleep supports detoxification. Reduced sleep increases metabolic burden. Kidney filtration efficiency declines. Sleep supports fluid regulation. Chronic sleep loss accelerates decline. Repair priorities shift. Instead of restoring peak performance, systems aim for stability. Stability reduces risk. Sleep supports this strategy. Preservation replaces expansion. Repair focuses on preventing failure rather than maximizing output. Cellular communication adapts. Signal thresholds change. Sleep stabilizes signaling noise. Reduced sleep increases signaling errors. Epigenetic patterns accumulate. Sleep supports partial reset. Stress-associated markers persist with age. Sleep limits their spread. Repair becomes selective. Not all damage is addressed. Critical systems receive priority. Sleep supports prioritization. Irregular sleep disrupts selection. Long-term regeneration depends on habit. Single nights have limited impact. Patterns matter. Consistency amplifies effect. Sleep timing stability supports coordination. Variable schedules reduce efficiency. Aging increases sensitivity to disruption. Sleep quality becomes more important than quantity. Deep sleep duration declines. Preserving deep sleep supports regeneration. Environmental stability supports deep sleep. Noise and light interfere. Sleep architecture changes gradually. Cycles shorten. Sleep supports remaining cycles. Regeneration remains active. It does not stop. It adapts. Preservation replaces expansion. Maintenance replaces growth. Repair remains continuous. Sleep sustains this process. Without sleep, decline accelerates. With sleep, balance is maintained. Regeneration proceeds quietly. Its success is measured by stability. Function persists. Failure is delayed. Sleep supports longevity indirectly. Not by extending life, but by preserving function. Regeneration aligns with time. Sleep provides alignment. Repair continues without awareness. Its presence is reflected in resilience. Its absence is reflected in fragility. Sleep sustains regeneration across time. Neural regeneration differs from structural regeneration. Neurons divide rarely. Instead of replacement, repair emphasizes maintenance. Neural tissue prioritizes stability. Daily neural activity produces metabolic stress. Electrical signaling consumes energy. Neurotransmitter release generates byproducts. These byproducts accumulate during wakefulness. Sleep reduces neural firing density. This reduces energy demand. Lower demand allows maintenance processes to proceed. Neurons adjust membrane potentials during sleep. Ion gradients stabilize. Sodium and potassium balance is restored. This prevents spontaneous firing. Stable gradients protect neural integrity. Synaptic structures undergo evaluation. Synapses transmit signals between neurons. Not all synapses are preserved. Sleep supports synaptic selection. Frequently used connections are reinforced. Less relevant connections weaken. This process improves efficiency. Synaptic pruning reduces noise. Noise reduction supports signal clarity. Memory consolidation depends on this process. Hippocampal activity changes during sleep. Patterns recorded during wakefulness are replayed. Replay strengthens relevant connections. Irrelevant activity fades. This occurs without conscious awareness. Sleep stages regulate replay intensity. Deep sleep supports stabilization. REM sleep supports integration. Neural circuits adapt accordingly. Neurotransmitter balance shifts overnight. Excitatory transmitters decrease. Inhibitory influence increases. This protects neurons from overstimulation. Glutamate levels reduce. GABA activity dominates. This supports recovery. Neural inflammation is regulated during sleep. Microglial cells adjust activity. Microglia remove cellular debris. They also modulate synaptic connections. Sleep supports microglial efficiency. Chronic sleep loss alters microglial behavior. Excessive inflammation may occur. This disrupts neural maintenance. Myelin integrity is preserved during sleep. Myelin insulates axons. It supports signal speed. Oligodendrocytes maintain myelin. Sleep supports their activity. Myelin repair increases overnight. Disrupted sleep reduces this repair. Signal transmission efficiency declines. Neural energy supply depends on glial support. Astrocytes regulate nutrient delivery. They store and release energy substrates. Sleep supports astrocytic coordination. Glucose availability stabilizes. Lactate distribution adjusts. Neurons receive consistent energy. Brain fluid dynamics change during sleep. Interstitial space increases slightly. Fluid movement improves. Waste clearance accelerates. Metabolic byproducts are removed. This supports neural longevity. Accumulated waste interferes with signaling. Sleep reduces this interference. Blood flow patterns shift. Global flow decreases. Targeted regions receive sufficient supply. This supports repair without overstimulation. Oxygen demand decreases. Hypoxic stress reduces. Neurons tolerate repair conditions. Neural DNA repair occurs during sleep. Oxidative damage accumulates during signaling. Repair enzymes increase activity. Damage is corrected. Sleep supports genomic stability. Epigenetic regulation adjusts. Gene expression patterns change overnight. Repair-related genes increase activity. Stress-related genes decrease. This supports long-term protection. Neural plasticity remains active. Plasticity allows adaptation. Sleep supports controlled plasticity. Excessive plasticity destabilizes circuits. Sleep balances change and preservation. Age affects neural repair. Repair capacity declines gradually. Maintenance remains active. Sleep supports preservation. Sleep disruption accelerates decline. Neurodegenerative risk increases. Sleep supports protective mechanisms. Protein clearance remains critical. Misfolded proteins accumulate over time. Sleep supports clearance pathways. Reduced sleep increases accumulation. Long-term accumulation disrupts function. Sleep moderates this process. Neural communication remains sensitive to timing. Circadian disruption affects coordination. Sleep stabilizes timing cues. Regular sleep improves neural coherence. Irregular sleep increases error rates. Error accumulation impairs function. Neural repair is cumulative. Each cycle contributes incrementally. Missed cycles reduce effectiveness. Consistency matters. Single nights have limited impact. Patterns determine outcome. Sleep architecture influences repair. Deep sleep supports structural maintenance. REM sleep supports integration. Both are required. Fragmentation reduces benefit. Neural tissue responds to stability. Predictable sleep supports coordination. Environmental stability supports neural repair. Noise and light interfere. Temperature stability supports enzymatic activity. Neural regeneration does not produce sensation. Changes are gradual. Function is preserved silently. Failure becomes apparent only after accumulation. Sleep delays this accumulation. Neural systems adapt continuously. Repair focuses on preserving networks. Replacement remains minimal. Maintenance dominates. Sleep supports this strategy. Without sleep, networks degrade. With sleep, networks stabilize. Neural repair continues throughout life. It slows but does not stop. Sleep sustains remaining capacity. Preservation replaces expansion. Stability replaces optimization. Neural systems remain functional. Sleep supports continuity. Repair proceeds without awareness. Its effects are measured over time. Consistency defines outcome. Sleep maintains neural integrity. Metabolic regeneration depends on coordinated system behavior. Energy processing does not stop during sleep. Instead, priorities change. During waking hours, metabolism supports immediate demand. Movement, cognition, and sensory input dominate energy use. When sleep begins, demand decreases. This allows metabolic systems to enter maintenance mode. The liver plays a central role in regeneration. It processes metabolic byproducts accumulated during the day. Detoxification pathways increase activity overnight. Enzymes responsible for chemical breakdown operate more efficiently during rest. This improves clearance of harmful compounds. The liver also regulates energy storage. During sleep, excess glucose is converted to glycogen. This stabilizes blood sugar levels. Stable glucose supports cellular repair. Insulin sensitivity improves overnight. Cells respond more effectively to insulin signals. This reduces metabolic stress. Sleep disruption impairs this improvement. Glucose regulation becomes less efficient. Lipid metabolism also shifts. Fatty acid processing increases during sleep. Stored lipids are mobilized gradually. This supports energy availability without spikes. The liver balances lipid storage and release. Sleep supports this balance. Cholesterol synthesis follows circadian patterns. Regulation improves overnight. This supports membrane repair across tissues. Bile production continues during sleep. This prepares the digestive system for subsequent activity. The pancreas adjusts hormonal output. Insulin release decreases during sleep. Glucagon activity supports glucose stability. This balance prevents hypoglycemia. Sleep deprivation disrupts pancreatic signaling. Long-term disruption increases metabolic risk. The kidneys support metabolic regeneration through filtration. Blood filtration continues continuously. However, patterns shift overnight. Glomerular filtration rate changes slightly. This improves waste concentration. Electrolyte balance is maintained. Sodium and potassium regulation stabilizes. This supports nerve and muscle function. Sleep supports renal blood flow stability. Reduced sympathetic activity lowers renal strain. Kidney cells undergo maintenance. Tubular structures repair microdamage. Sleep supports this repair. Fluid balance is adjusted. Antidiuretic hormone levels increase overnight. This reduces urine production. Water is conserved. This supports blood volume stability. Sleep disruption alters this balance. Nighttime urination increases. This interrupts sleep cycles. The endocrine system integrates metabolic signals. Hormones coordinate energy distribution. Cortisol levels decline during early sleep. Reduced cortisol supports tissue repair. Excess cortisol interferes with regeneration. Sleep limits prolonged cortisol exposure. Thyroid hormone activity remains stable. Metabolic rate decreases slightly. This conserves energy. Lower metabolic rate reduces byproduct generation. Cleanup demand decreases. Growth hormone influences metabolic repair. It supports protein synthesis. It promotes lipid utilization. Sleep supports growth hormone release. Fragmented sleep reduces metabolic efficiency. The gastrointestinal system enters maintenance mode. Digestive activity decreases. Motility slows. Energy is redirected. Intestinal cells regenerate rapidly. Sleep supports epithelial turnover. Barrier integrity improves. This limits immune activation. Gut-associated lymphoid tissue adjusts activity. Inflammatory responses decrease. Microbial populations follow circadian rhythms. Composition shifts overnight. These shifts influence metabolism. Sleep disruption alters microbial balance. Metabolic signaling becomes less stable. Energy sensors within cells monitor availability. AMP-activated protein kinase regulates response. Sleep stabilizes energy signals. Excessive stress signaling decreases. Repair processes proceed efficiently. Mitochondria integrate metabolic signals. ATP production matches reduced demand. Excess reactive byproducts decline. Oxidative stress decreases. Antioxidant systems dominate. This protects metabolic enzymes. Metabolic pathways interconnect. Carbohydrate, lipid, and protein metabolism coordinate. Sleep supports coordination. Disruption increases inefficiency. Metabolic flexibility declines. Energy utilization becomes rigid. Sleep preserves flexibility. Vascular support remains important. Blood vessels supply nutrients. Sleep supports endothelial repair. Improved perfusion supports metabolic tissue health. Adipose tissue participates in metabolic signaling. It releases hormones influencing appetite and energy use. Sleep supports adipose regulation. Leptin levels increase. Appetite signaling stabilizes. Sleep deprivation alters these signals. Energy intake regulation worsens. Inflammation increases. Chronic inflammation disrupts metabolism. Sleep reduces inflammatory tone. Metabolic regeneration is cumulative. Each sleep cycle contributes incrementally. Missed cycles reduce efficiency. Consistency determines outcome. Short-term disruption has limited effect. Long-term disruption accumulates. Metabolic health declines gradually. Sleep supports long-term balance. Aging affects metabolic regeneration. Efficiency declines. Repair prioritizes stability. Sleep preserves remaining capacity. Irregular sleep accelerates decline. Metabolic disorders become more likely. Coordination across systems becomes critical. The liver, kidneys, pancreas, and endocrine system operate as a unit. Sleep synchronizes this unit. Timing cues align activity. Disruption fragments coordination. Repair efficiency declines. Metabolic regeneration does not restore youth. It preserves function. Sleep supports preservation. Energy balance stabilizes. Waste clearance improves. System strain decreases. Metabolism operates quietly. Repair produces no sensation. Its success is measured over time. Stability reflects effective regeneration. Sleep sustains metabolic systems. Without sleep, imbalance increases. With sleep, equilibrium persists. Metabolic regeneration adapts continuously. It remains active throughout life. Sleep maintains coordination. Repair proceeds silently. Immune regeneration is continuous. Defense and repair operate together. The immune system does not rest during sleep. Its activity changes form. During waking hours, immune activity prioritizes surveillance. Rapid response remains dominant. During sleep, immune activity shifts toward repair and regulation. Circulating immune cells redistribute. Some exit the bloodstream and enter tissues. This redistribution supports localized repair. Inflammatory signaling decreases during early sleep. Excess immune activation is reduced. This protects tissues from unnecessary damage. Macrophages change functional state overnight. Their repair-oriented activity increases. They remove cellular debris. They release growth-supporting signals. These signals support tissue regeneration. Sleep supports macrophage coordination. Without sufficient sleep, debris clearance slows. Neutrophil activity also changes. Their aggressive response capacity decreases temporarily. This reduces collateral tissue damage. Repair processes proceed with less interference. Adaptive immune cells adjust behavior. T lymphocytes alter circulation patterns. Some subsets migrate into lymphatic tissue. This supports immune memory maintenance. Sleep enhances immune memory consolidation. Antigen information acquired during the day is processed. Relevant immune responses are strengthened. Irrelevant responses fade. This improves efficiency. Sleep deprivation disrupts this process. Immune memory formation weakens. Vaccination responses are reduced. Cytokine signaling follows circadian rhythms. Certain cytokines peak during sleep. These cytokines support healing rather than inflammation. Pro-inflammatory cytokines decrease. Anti-inflammatory cytokines increase. Balance is restored. Chronic sleep loss alters cytokine profiles. Inflammation becomes persistent. Persistent inflammation interferes with regeneration. Sleep supports immune tolerance. Tolerance prevents immune overreaction. This protects healthy tissue. Regulatory immune cells increase activity overnight. They suppress excessive responses. This supports long-term tissue integrity. The lymphatic system plays a key role. Lymphatic vessels drain waste from tissues. During sleep, lymphatic flow improves. Waste products are transported efficiently. This supports immune coordination. Accumulated waste interferes with signaling. Sleep reduces this interference. Immune regeneration depends on energy availability. Immune cells require ATP for function. During sleep, energy competition decreases. Repair-oriented immune activity is favored. Oxidative stress within immune cells decreases. This preserves function. Sleep supports immune cell lifespan. Premature immune cell exhaustion is reduced. Bone marrow activity adjusts overnight. Immune cell production continues. Release patterns change. Repair-supporting cells are prioritized. Sleep supports hematopoietic balance. Sleep deprivation alters bone marrow signaling. Immune imbalance increases. Barrier tissues rely on immune regeneration. Skin acts as an immune barrier. Sleep supports skin immune repair. Immune cells within skin recalibrate responses. This reduces sensitivity. The gut barrier also depends on immune regulation. Sleep supports gut immune balance. Inflammation within gut tissue decreases. Barrier integrity improves. Microbial interaction becomes regulated. Sleep disruption increases gut inflammation. This interferes with regeneration. Respiratory immune defenses adjust overnight. Mucosal immune activity decreases aggression. Repair dominates. This protects delicate tissue. Sleep supports epithelial regeneration. Reduced sleep increases vulnerability. Immune signaling integrates with nervous system activity. Neuroimmune communication changes during sleep. Stress-related immune activation decreases. Parasympathetic dominance supports regulation. This protects tissues. Hormonal influence remains critical. Cortisol suppression supports immune repair. Growth hormone supports immune cell regeneration. Melatonin influences immune signaling. Melatonin receptors exist on immune cells. Sleep supports coordinated signaling. Immune regeneration slows with age. Repair capacity declines. Sleep supports remaining capacity. Chronic sleep disruption accelerates immune aging. Autoimmune risk increases. Repair efficiency declines. Inflammatory background increases. Sleep limits these changes. Immune regeneration focuses on balance. Excess defense is reduced. Repair is prioritized. This reduces tissue wear. Repeated sleep cycles support cumulative repair. Single nights have limited impact. Patterns determine outcome. Consistency stabilizes immune behavior. Irregular sleep destabilizes signaling. Immune responses become erratic. Repair becomes inefficient. Immune regeneration is silent. It produces no sensation. Its success is reflected in resilience. Failure appears gradually. Sleep delays failure. Immune coordination depends on timing. Circadian signals align responses. Sleep preserves alignment. Disruption fragments coordination. Repair slows. Defense becomes inefficient. Sleep supports long-term immune stability. Not by increasing strength, but by reducing error. Regeneration focuses on accuracy. Balance replaces aggression. Immune systems adapt continuously. Sleep sustains adaptation. Repair proceeds quietly. Defense remains ready. Balance is maintained. Endocrine regeneration depends on timing rather than force. Hormones operate through concentration and sequence. During waking hours, endocrine signaling supports responsiveness. Rapid adjustment dominates. During sleep, signaling shifts toward stabilization. Hormone release becomes rhythmic. Pulses replace continuous output. This pulsed pattern reduces receptor fatigue. Receptors regain sensitivity. Growth hormone release increases after sleep onset. Its secretion follows defined cycles. The largest pulses occur during slow-wave sleep. These pulses support tissue repair. They also support metabolic regulation. Growth hormone stimulates protein synthesis. It promotes lipid utilization. Sleep deprivation reduces pulse amplitude. Reduced amplitude limits repair. Insulin-like growth factors respond to growth hormone signaling. They mediate many regenerative effects. Sleep supports coordination between these signals. Disrupted sleep weakens this coordination. Cortisol follows an inverse pattern. During early sleep, cortisol levels decline. This reduction limits catabolic activity. Low cortisol supports tissue preservation. Toward morning, cortisol rises gradually. This prepares the body for waking activity. Sleep disruption alters this rhythm. Elevated nighttime cortisol interferes with repair. Chronic elevation increases tissue breakdown. The thyroid axis contributes to metabolic balance. Thyroid hormones regulate baseline energy expenditure. During sleep, metabolic rate decreases slightly. This conserves energy. Lower energy demand reduces byproduct accumulation. Repair pathways benefit. Sleep disruption alters thyroid signaling sensitivity. Metabolic instability increases. The reproductive endocrine system also regenerates during sleep. Sex hormone release follows circadian timing. Sleep supports regular hormone pulses. These hormones influence tissue maintenance. Bone density, muscle integrity, and vascular health respond to these signals. Disrupted sleep alters release patterns. Repair efficiency declines. Melatonin acts as a central timing hormone. It is released in response to darkness. Melatonin signals nighttime to peripheral tissues. This signal coordinates repair timing. Melatonin also acts as an antioxidant. It neutralizes reactive molecules. Sleep supports sustained melatonin signaling. Light exposure disrupts this process. Reduced melatonin interferes with coordination. The pineal gland regulates melatonin release. Sleep consistency supports pineal responsiveness. Irregular schedules weaken output. Endocrine glands interact continuously. Signals are layered rather than isolated. Sleep supports synchronization. The hypothalamus acts as a control center. It integrates neural and hormonal information. Sleep stabilizes hypothalamic output. This improves coordination. The pituitary gland distributes hormonal signals. Its activity becomes structured during sleep. Pulsatile release improves target responsiveness. Sleep disruption alters pituitary rhythm. Hormonal noise increases. Endocrine regeneration also depends on receptor maintenance. Hormone receptors degrade over time. Sleep supports receptor recycling. Surface sensitivity is restored. Reduced sleep increases receptor desensitization. Signals become less effective. Endocrine feedback loops rely on accuracy. Hormone levels influence further release. Sleep stabilizes feedback sensitivity. Disruption increases error. Endocrine balance shifts gradually with age. Hormone production declines. Sleep preserves remaining output. Sleep loss accelerates decline. Repair emphasis shifts toward preservation. Stress hormones interact with endocrine regeneration. Adrenal activity decreases during sleep. Reduced sympathetic output supports repair. Chronic stress alters endocrine balance. Sleep limits prolonged stress signaling. The endocrine system supports immune regeneration. Hormones regulate immune cell behavior. Sleep aligns these signals. Disruption fragments coordination. Endocrine signals also influence neural repair. Neurotransmitter systems respond to hormonal state. Sleep supports integration. Misalignment increases cognitive strain. Metabolic hormones coordinate energy availability. Leptin and ghrelin influence appetite regulation. Sleep supports leptin signaling. Reduced sleep increases ghrelin activity. Energy balance becomes unstable. Repair efficiency declines. Endocrine regeneration operates cumulatively. Single nights provide partial support. Patterns determine outcome. Consistent sleep strengthens hormonal rhythms. Irregular sleep weakens pulses. Timing matters more than quantity alone. Deep sleep supports anabolic signaling. Fragmentation reduces benefit. Environmental stability supports endocrine regeneration. Darkness supports melatonin. Temperature stability supports hormone kinetics. Noise disrupts sleep architecture. Endocrine systems respond to disruption. Repair becomes inefficient. Endocrine regeneration does not restore peak youth function. It preserves operational stability. Sleep supports preservation. Hormone signaling remains active. Adaptation replaces expansion. Endocrine systems remain responsive. Repair continues without awareness. Its success is measured over time. Balance reflects effective regeneration. Sleep sustains endocrine coordination. Without sleep, signaling fragments. With sleep, rhythm persists. Endocrine regeneration aligns systems. Timing synchronizes repair. Sleep provides timing. Repair proceeds quietly. Regeneration does not occur in isolated systems. All repair processes are interconnected. No tissue repairs independently. Signals are shared across systems. Sleep provides the conditions for this integration. During waking hours, systems prioritize local demands. Each system responds to immediate stressors. This fragmentation limits coordination. When sleep begins, global coordination increases. Neural signaling slows. Hormonal signaling becomes rhythmic. Immune signaling shifts toward regulation. Metabolic demand decreases. These changes reduce competition between systems. Resources become available for shared repair. The nervous system acts as an integrator. It modulates autonomic output. Parasympathetic dominance supports system-wide stability. Reduced sympathetic signaling lowers interference. This allows peripheral systems to synchronize. Endocrine signals provide timing cues. Hormonal pulses align activity across tissues. Growth hormone supports structural repair. Melatonin supports timing and protection. Cortisol suppression reduces catabolic pressure. These signals do not act alone. They influence immune behavior. They influence metabolic pathways. They influence neural maintenance. Immune cells respond to endocrine timing. Repair-oriented immune activity increases. Inflammatory signaling decreases. This prevents immune-mediated damage during repair. Metabolic systems respond to immune signals. Reduced inflammation improves insulin sensitivity. Energy distribution stabilizes. Repair processes receive consistent fuel. The liver integrates metabolic and immune information. Detoxification reduces systemic stress. Lower toxin loads support cellular repair. Kidneys maintain fluid and electrolyte balance. Stable internal environment supports enzymatic accuracy. Small deviations disrupt coordination. Sleep minimizes these deviations. The gastrointestinal system contributes to integration. Barrier integrity limits immune activation. Reduced immune noise supports regeneration. Microbial signaling influences metabolic and immune balance. Sleep stabilizes this interaction. Skin participates in systemic signaling. It acts as a barrier and an immune organ. Sleep supports skin repair. Reduced barrier stress lowers systemic inflammation. Vascular systems connect all tissues. Blood flow redistribution supports repair zones. Endothelial maintenance improves perfusion. Improved perfusion supports integration. Oxygen delivery stabilizes. Waste removal improves. Neural tissue depends on systemic stability. Metabolic imbalance disrupts neural repair. Immune imbalance increases neuroinflammation. Endocrine disruption alters neural timing. Sleep aligns these systems. Waste clearance from neural tissue improves. Reduced waste supports signaling accuracy. Memory-related repair proceeds. Structural tissues depend on systemic coordination. Bone repair requires hormonal support. Muscle repair requires metabolic support. Connective tissue repair requires immune regulation. Sleep provides alignment. Disruption in one system affects others. Sleep loss illustrates this dependency. Metabolic imbalance increases inflammation. Inflammation disrupts neural repair. Neural disruption alters endocrine timing. Endocrine disruption impairs immune coordination. A feedback loop forms. Sleep breaks this loop. Sleep restores hierarchy. Integration depends on circadian alignment. Circadian signals provide a shared reference. Without alignment, systems drift. Drift increases error. Error accumulates damage. Sleep resets alignment. Regular timing strengthens signals. Irregular timing weakens integration. Environmental cues influence alignment. Light exposure affects melatonin. Noise affects sleep architecture. Temperature affects enzymatic kinetics. Stable environments support integration. Sleep architecture determines integration quality. Deep sleep supports structural repair. REM sleep supports integration and recalibration. Light sleep supports transition. All stages contribute. Fragmentation reduces integration. Partial sleep supports local repair. Full sleep supports global repair. Aging affects integration. Signal strength declines. Noise increases. Sleep preserves remaining integration capacity. Consistent sleep becomes more important. Variability increases vulnerability. Regeneration shifts focus. Repair prioritizes critical systems. Integration supports prioritization. Sleep enables selection. Systems communicate priority through signals. Energy allocation follows priority. Repair follows allocation. Without sleep, selection fails. Resources are misallocated. Damage accumulates. Integration supports efficiency. Efficient repair requires fewer resources. Sleep improves efficiency. Regeneration becomes economical. Sleep supports this economy. Long-term stability depends on integration. Peak performance is less important than balance. Sleep preserves balance. Balance preserves function. Function delays failure. Regeneration does not eliminate aging. It slows functional decline. Integration is the mechanism. Sleep sustains integration. Repair proceeds without awareness. No system announces completion. Success appears as stability. Failure appears as fragmentation. Sleep reduces fragmentation. Integration persists across cycles. Each cycle reinforces alignment. Missed cycles weaken it. Patterns determine outcome. Consistency outweighs intensity. Sleep duration matters. Sleep timing matters. Sleep quality matters. Integration requires all three. Repair depends on integration. Integration depends on sleep. Sleep maintains coordination. Coordination sustains regeneration. Regeneration sustains function. Function reflects integration. Sleep underlies the entire process. Repair continues quietly. Regeneration has biological limits. Not all damage can be fully reversed. Living systems prioritize survival over perfection. Repair focuses on maintaining function. Cells do not aim to restore an ideal state. They aim to preserve operational stability. This strategy reduces energy cost. Every repair process requires resources. Energy, materials, and time are finite. Sleep improves efficiency. It does not remove constraints. Some tissues regenerate rapidly. Others regenerate slowly or incompletely. Cell turnover rates vary by tissue type. Skin cells renew frequently. Blood cells renew continuously. Neurons renew rarely. Cardiac muscle renews minimally. These differences reflect risk management. Replacing critical cells carries risk. Maintenance reduces that risk. DNA repair corrects many errors. Some errors escape correction. Accumulated errors contribute to aging. Sleep reduces error accumulation. It does not eliminate it. Protein repair corrects misfolding. Some proteins aggregate despite control. Aggregation increases with time. Sleep slows aggregation. Clearance capacity remains limited. Mitochondrial repair improves efficiency. Damaged mitochondria accumulate gradually. Mitophagy removes many. Some remain dysfunctional. Energy production declines slowly. Sleep preserves remaining capacity. Structural tissues adapt rather than reset. Bone remodels continuously. Microarchitecture changes with age. Sleep supports remodeling balance. Complete reversal does not occur. Muscle fibers adapt to reduced repair. Strength is preserved within limits. Sleep delays decline. Connective tissue stiffens over time. Collagen cross-linking increases. Sleep supports turnover. Full reversal remains unlikely. Cartilage regeneration is limited. Sleep supports maintenance. Structural restoration remains partial. Vascular repair preserves flow. Elasticity declines gradually. Sleep supports endothelial health. Complete elasticity restoration does not occur. Neural systems prioritize stability. Replacing neurons risks network disruption. Repair focuses on preserving connections. Sleep supports synaptic maintenance. Lost neurons are rarely replaced. Function adapts through reorganization. Immune regeneration balances defense and tolerance. Excess repair risks autoimmunity. Sleep reduces immune error. Complete error elimination is not possible. Metabolic repair preserves balance. Efficiency declines slowly. Sleep supports regulation. Metabolic limits remain. Endocrine regeneration stabilizes rhythms. Hormone output declines with age. Sleep preserves timing. Amplitude reduction continues. Circadian alignment weakens gradually. Sleep strengthens alignment. Noise increases over time. Sleep reduces noise. Elimination remains incomplete. Cellular senescence represents a limit. Senescent cells resist removal. Sleep supports clearance mechanisms indirectly. Accumulation continues slowly. Tissue environments adapt. Repair strategies shift toward preservation. Regeneration prioritizes critical systems. Non-critical damage persists. Sleep supports prioritization accuracy. Energy allocation reflects necessity. Repair focuses where failure risk is highest. Sleep improves allocation efficiency. Misallocation increases with disruption. Sleep reduces misallocation. Repair does not equal rejuvenation. Function is preserved, not reset. Sleep slows decline. It does not reverse time. Biological systems accept trade-offs. Perfect repair increases risk. Controlled imperfection increases survival. Sleep supports controlled imperfection. Repair strategies emphasize resilience. Resilience tolerates damage. Sleep enhances tolerance. Tolerance reduces catastrophic failure. Aging reflects accumulated trade-offs. Sleep moderates accumulation. It does not erase history. Damage history shapes future repair. Sleep adapts repair priorities accordingly. Repair becomes selective. Selection depends on signaling accuracy. Sleep improves accuracy. Errors remain possible. Repair success is probabilistic. Sleep increases probability. It does not guarantee outcome. Environmental stress adds load. Sleep buffers stress. Buffering capacity declines with age. Sleep preserves remaining buffer. Regeneration remains active throughout life. Its output decreases. Sleep sustains activity. Absence of sleep accelerates decline. Presence of sleep slows decline. Limits define strategy. Strategy defines outcome. Outcome reflects balance. Sleep maintains balance. Repair continues within limits. Limits remain. Biological systems accumulate errors over time. This accumulation is gradual. Most errors are microscopic. They do not cause immediate dysfunction. Repair mechanisms correct many errors. Some errors remain. Remaining errors influence future repair. Cellular activity produces byproducts. Heat, oxidation, and mechanical stress contribute. DNA replication introduces small inaccuracies. Repair systems correct most. Some mismatches escape detection. Protein synthesis produces misfolded structures. Quality control removes many. Some misfolded proteins persist. These remnants interfere subtly. Cell membranes experience repeated stress. Lipid components degrade. Replacement restores function. Complete replacement is not always possible. Mitochondria accumulate internal damage. Energy production efficiency declines slowly. Mitophagy removes many damaged units. Some remain. Residual dysfunction affects energy balance. Sleep reduces error introduction. It improves correction efficiency. Sleep does not reset accumulated errors. Each repair cycle begins from the current state. Past damage influences present repair. Errors interact. Small inefficiencies compound. Metabolic imbalance increases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress increases molecular damage. Sleep reduces oxidative load. Reduction limits acceleration. Elimination remains partial. Neural signaling errors accumulate subtly. Synaptic transmission becomes less precise. Sleep supports recalibration. Residual noise remains. Noise increases cognitive load. Sleep reduces load. Complete silence is not achieved. Structural tissues accumulate microdamage. Bone microfractures remodel. Some architectural changes persist. Sleep supports remodeling balance. Complete architectural restoration is rare. Connective tissue fibers accumulate crosslinks. Flexibility decreases. Sleep supports turnover. Crosslinks persist. Cartilage accumulates wear. Repair capacity is limited. Sleep preserves remaining structure. Surface irregularities remain. Vascular systems accumulate stiffness. Elastic components degrade. Sleep supports endothelial repair. Complete elasticity restoration does not occur. Immune systems accumulate signaling errors. Memory responses misfire. Sleep supports recalibration. Some misalignment persists. Chronic low-grade inflammation emerges. Sleep reduces inflammatory tone. Baseline increases over time. Endocrine signaling accumulates drift. Hormone rhythms lose precision. Sleep strengthens timing cues. Amplitude declines. Metabolic regulation accumulates inefficiency. Insulin signaling weakens. Sleep improves sensitivity. Baseline resistance increases with age. Repair systems respond to accumulated damage. They adjust priorities. Resources shift toward critical maintenance. Non-critical repair declines. Sleep supports prioritization accuracy. Misprioritization increases error impact. Error accumulation influences cellular behavior. Cells adapt to altered conditions. Adaptation preserves function. Adaptation accepts imperfection. Sleep supports adaptive strategies. Adaptation reduces catastrophic failure risk. Repair processes become conservative. Aggressive replacement decreases. Maintenance dominates. Sleep supports maintenance. Aging reflects cumulative error management. Not all errors are harmful. Some represent adaptation. Distinguishing harmful from tolerable errors requires signaling accuracy. Sleep improves discrimination. Errors that exceed tolerance accumulate consequences. Thresholds exist. Sleep delays threshold crossing. Environmental stress accelerates accumulation. Sleep buffers stress impact. Buffering capacity declines gradually. Sleep preserves remaining buffer. Error accumulation is nonlinear. Small increases produce larger effects over time. Sleep reduces slope. Slope remains positive. Repair efficiency declines gradually. Sleep slows decline. Decline does not reverse. Cellular senescence increases. Senescent cells resist apoptosis. Sleep supports immune-mediated clearance indirectly. Clearance remains incomplete. Accumulated senescent cells alter tissue environment. Sleep reduces inflammatory signaling. Background changes persist. Genomic stability decreases slowly. Repair accuracy declines. Sleep supports remaining fidelity. Epigenetic drift occurs. Gene expression patterns shift. Sleep supports partial reset. Drift accumulates. Protein aggregation increases. Clearance systems manage load. Sleep improves clearance. Capacity remains finite. Accumulation continues. Neural networks compensate. Redundancy masks damage. Sleep supports compensation. Redundancy decreases over time. Structural redundancy also declines. Sleep preserves function. Limits remain. Error accumulation shapes biological strategy. Focus shifts toward stability. Repair avoids risky interventions. Sleep supports conservative repair. Conservative repair slows failure. Failure is delayed. Sleep does not eliminate risk. It moderates trajectory. Long-term outcomes reflect balance between accumulation and correction. Sleep influences balance. Without sleep, accumulation accelerates. With sleep, accumulation slows. Error accumulation is inevitable. Rate is modifiable. Sleep modifies rate. Repair responds continuously. System stability depends on consistency. Irregular sleep increases variability. Variability increases error impact. Regular sleep stabilizes conditions. Stability supports repair. Error accumulation becomes manageable. Sleep supports manageability. Repair remains active. Errors persist. Balance determines outcome. Sleep sustains balance. Long-term biological stability depends on balance rather than optimization. Living systems do not aim for maximum performance. They aim for sustained function. Regeneration operates within this framework. Repair processes are designed to be sufficient, not perfect. This strategy reduces risk. Perfect restoration requires high energy and high complexity. High complexity increases failure probability. Biological systems favor robustness over precision. Sleep supports robustness. Robustness allows tolerance to variation. Cells maintain function across changing conditions. Repair focuses on keeping systems within acceptable ranges. Sleep supports range maintenance. Homeostasis represents this principle. Internal variables fluctuate within limits. Repair mechanisms correct deviations. Sleep improves correction efficiency. Long-term balance depends on repeated small corrections. Large corrections are avoided. Large interventions increase instability. Repair strategies emphasize incremental adjustment. Sleep provides the time window for adjustment. Structural tissues follow this principle. Bone remodeling maintains strength within functional limits. Exact restoration of youthful structure is not required. Sufficient strength prevents failure. Sleep supports remodeling balance. Muscle maintenance prioritizes endurance over peak output. Repair preserves fiber integrity. Sleep supports maintenance. Connective tissue stability prioritizes load tolerance. Elasticity declines gradually. Sleep supports turnover within limits. Cartilage maintenance focuses on preserving surface continuity. Repair prevents catastrophic breakdown. Sleep supports fluid exchange. Neural systems exemplify good enough strategy. Perfect signal fidelity is unnecessary. Redundancy compensates for noise. Sleep supports redundancy maintenance. Synaptic pruning removes excess connections. This improves efficiency. Sleep supports pruning accuracy. Memory systems preserve relevance, not completeness. Sleep supports selective consolidation. Irrelevant data is removed. Relevant patterns persist. This maintains cognitive stability. Metabolic systems follow similar rules. Energy balance prioritizes predictability. Rapid fluctuations increase stress. Sleep stabilizes metabolic rhythms. Stable rhythms reduce wear. Endocrine systems regulate amplitude and timing. Perfect hormone levels are unnecessary. Consistency matters more than magnitude. Sleep preserves timing cues. Immune systems balance defense and tolerance. Excess defense damages tissue. Excess tolerance increases risk. Sleep supports balance. Repair processes integrate immune signals. Controlled inflammation initiates repair. Sleep limits prolonged inflammation. Long-term immune balance depends on regulation. Sleep supports regulation. Vascular systems maintain flow within safe limits. Exact elasticity is not required. Sufficient compliance prevents rupture. Sleep supports endothelial maintenance. Skin regeneration preserves barrier function. Cosmetic perfection is irrelevant. Sleep supports integrity. Repair prioritizes protection. Aging reflects a shift toward conservative strategies. Repair output declines. Selection becomes stricter. Critical systems receive priority. Sleep supports prioritization accuracy. Energy allocation becomes selective. Repair avoids unnecessary expenditure. Sleep improves allocation efficiency. Biological systems accept gradual change. Static perfection is unattainable. Dynamic stability is achievable. Sleep supports dynamic stability. Dynamic stability allows adaptation. Adaptation reduces catastrophic failure risk. Repair processes adapt thresholds. Tolerance increases. Sleep supports threshold adjustment. Long-term balance depends on consistency. Irregular patterns increase variability. Variability increases error impact. Sleep regularity stabilizes trajectories. Small deviations are corrected early. Early correction prevents large failure. Sleep enables early correction. Repair does not aim to reverse aging. It aims to slow destabilization. Sleep moderates rate of decline. Preservation replaces optimization. Maintenance replaces rebuilding. Sleep supports maintenance. Environmental stability enhances balance. Light exposure influences circadian alignment. Temperature stability supports enzymatic precision. Noise disrupts sleep architecture. Disruption increases imbalance. Sleep quality influences long-term outcomes. Deep sleep supports structural maintenance. REM sleep supports integration. Light sleep supports transition. All contribute to balance. Fragmentation reduces benefit. Continuous cycles improve outcome. Long-term stability emerges from repetition. Single nights have limited impact. Patterns define trajectory. Sleep consistency shapes trajectory. Repair outcomes reflect cumulative conditions. Biological systems track history. Repair strategies adapt to past stress. Sleep informs adaptation. Adaptation shapes future repair. Balance evolves. Regeneration remains active. Output decreases. Stability persists. Failure is delayed. Sleep sustains stability. Balance does not eliminate decline. It moderates progression. Repair within balance preserves function. Function supports independence. Independence reflects system resilience. Resilience reflects balance. Sleep supports resilience. Repair operates quietly. No signal announces success. Stability appears unremarkable. Instability becomes noticeable. Sleep reduces instability. Balance remains the objective. Repair aligns with balance. Sleep maintains alignment. Long-term health reflects sustained balance. Sleep underlies this process. Regeneration is cyclical. It does not begin or end at a single point. Repair follows repeating patterns. These patterns align with biological time. Sleep anchors these cycles. Each sleep period initiates a familiar sequence. Preparation precedes repair. Activity slows. Signals shift. Resources are reallocated. Repair proceeds incrementally. No single cycle completes regeneration. Completion is distributed across time. Small changes accumulate. Cells enter maintenance mode. Repair pathways activate. Damage assessment occurs. Correction follows assessment. Sleep provides the interval required for this sequence. When sleep ends, repair does not stop. It transitions. Maintenance activity decreases. Operational activity increases. The next cycle prepares to repeat. This repetition defines regeneration. The body does not rely on rare intensive repair events. It relies on frequent modest ones. This strategy reduces risk. Large interventions increase instability. Repeated small corrections maintain balance. Sleep supports small corrections. Each cycle reinforces previous work. Unfinished repair is carried forward. No cycle begins from zero. History influences each iteration. Past damage shapes present priorities. Repair adapts accordingly. Sleep informs adaptation. Timing governs effectiveness. Circadian signals provide reference points. Repair aligns to these points. Alignment improves efficiency. Misalignment reduces benefit. Sleep regularity stabilizes alignment. Irregular sleep weakens signals. Weak signals increase noise. Noise interferes with coordination. Sleep reduces noise. Regeneration proceeds in layers. Cellular maintenance occurs first. System-level coordination follows. Structural preservation continues. Integration stabilizes outcomes. These layers overlap. No layer operates alone. Sleep synchronizes layers. Synchronization supports consistency. Consistency supports long-term stability. Stability does not imply stasis. Change continues. Adaptation persists. Repair thresholds adjust. Tolerance ranges shift. Sleep supports threshold recalibration. Recalibration prevents failure. Failure emerges from accumulated imbalance. Sleep delays imbalance. Delay extends functional lifespan. Regeneration focuses on preserving usable capacity. Peak performance is unnecessary. Sufficient performance prevents collapse. Sleep supports sufficiency. The body tracks cumulative stress. Repair priorities adjust dynamically. Critical systems receive attention. Non-critical damage persists. Sleep supports prioritization accuracy. Accuracy reduces catastrophic risk. Cycles repeat regardless of awareness. Consciousness is not required. Repair does not require attention. Sleep provides conditions. Darkness supports timing. Stillness supports stability. Reduced input supports coordination. Environmental stability enhances cycles. Noise fragments cycles. Light disrupts timing. Temperature instability alters kinetics. Stable environments improve repair fidelity. Sleep architecture influences cycle quality. Deep sleep supports structural maintenance. REM sleep supports integration. Light sleep supports transition. All stages contribute. Fragmentation reduces coherence. Continuous cycles reinforce alignment. Cycles accumulate. Outcome reflects pattern consistency. Single cycles have limited impact. Sequences determine effect. Regeneration is probabilistic. Sleep increases probability of success. It does not guarantee outcome. Repeated cycles increase likelihood. Probability accumulates. Repair remains imperfect. Imperfection is tolerated. Tolerance reduces risk. Sleep supports tolerance management. The system accepts gradual change. Repair accommodates change. Stability emerges from adaptation. Adaptation reflects history. Sleep informs adaptation. Adaptation influences future repair. This feedback loop persists. The loop does not close. It continues. Regeneration slows with time. Cycles shorten. Output declines. Sleep sustains remaining cycles. Preservation replaces expansion. Maintenance replaces rebuilding. Cycles persist. Repair remains active. Functional decline slows. Sleep moderates trajectory. Regeneration does not reverse aging. It modulates progression. Cycles maintain balance. Balance preserves function. Function delays failure. Sleep sustains cycles. Cycles define regeneration. Regeneration defines resilience. Resilience reflects balance. Balance reflects coordination. Coordination reflects timing. Timing reflects sleep. Repair proceeds quietly. No signal marks completion. Cycles fade into one another. Awareness is unnecessary. Regeneration continues.